fight hundreds of goblins.
Your breath still smells like steak seasoning, Vicky replied.
Larry, is that you? I've been trapped
Goodbye,
in
bye,
that
alien,
body.
Derlico said as he squeezed everything. And I mean everything. Derlico squeezed the trigger. Boom!
Let me read 13 again, because I don't think it made sense. Can I just start that one over? It's very wordy.
Good evening and welcome. Tonight I'm going to read you a story that I know you have never heard before. A story entitled Love of a Job. I'm a lucky man. I have a job that I love. Some might say that I love it a little too much. Every day I sit at my desk and I get aroused, knowing that I'm doing such a great job. With every stroke of the keys, I know that the day is drawing more and more near to the moment when I am able to stroke something else. I hear the clock tick. I feel my tip-tap. I have a desk where I can adjust it in height, and I will lower the desk until it firmly lowered onto my lap. And I let my tip tap the underside of the tough timber. The bottom of my desk lets out echoes, which grow more and more rapid, until it sounds like a woodpecker is in the office. And there is one in the office. Only this woodpecker is my pecker, and it isn't made of wood. My deck feels so hard that I wonder what would happen if I had a blade made of diamond. Would that diamond cut my thick stud? Or would the diamond slide along it like a bead of sweat down the slimy toad's back? Tap, tap, tap. My tip taps hard and fast. Time is passing while my tip is tapping. As I sit in my chair, I am both working strongly and efficiently, counting down the time until it's time for the crime slime time. Though I love every minute of being at my job, there's one thing I love even more: being able to elude police and taunt the lawman going along the way, stringing them along with the strings that I shoot all over every crime scene. It might look like a giant spider went through the house, as it left bodies lifeless. It might also look like a giant slippery spider walked through the house, leaving drippy webs all over. Tap, tap, tap. My breath grows quicker. My imagination runs wild. Time shrinks shorter. Having a rare DNA type like I do could make someone stick out like a sore thumb. Unless, of course, you had never been documented. How can they track someone down when they don't know what they are eating? They can trace the tracks that I left in the form of white ribbons, but they will not get any farther than they would in a dream. A wet dream. I hear the desk splinter as an average, possibly above average size dent is formed. I know it must be time. Yep, it's 5 p.m., time to get off in 4 different ways. Leaving work, finding satisfaction in a murder, shooting stinky streams all over the crime scene, and finally getting off of any crime conviction that tries to snag me. My mind is a blur as my feet shuffle down the stairs from my office. I break free from the building, finally freed into the world. The ending rays of the sun warm my face almost instantly, and the cool breeze dances past me, cooling the back of my head, sending my hair to float, while a cooling air snakes travels down either side of my spine, before ending in a sharp, cool snap at the bottom of my tailbone, right above my butthole. I am silently moving through the streets, able to complete errands almost unnoticed. My backpack is lighter after leaving the library and returning my books. I drink my to-go coffee and think about how heavily I love my job. I know that working as a newspaper editor will look good on my resume. I also know that I can keep selling my amateur photos until I make a name for myself as the most famous photographer in from the entire world. I stop in my tracks. The world is passing by in a blur. I'm frozen in the blanket of time as all of these carpet fleas rush by me. I feel all powerful. It reminds me of a saying that my grandfather had that never made sense until now.
The entire universe was created for everyone, and all of the universe comes together for every single purpose, for every single person at the perfect moment, if you are ready to feel it. It happened for the first person to colliding stars, and it will keep happening to people who live on stars now. I am a star.
I know that the entire universe had to be created, and for all the pleasures and pain the universe has been through to bubble up through my inner unknowing out onto this material surface, I can get the most explosive photos of my murders. I can mail them to myself at work and really climb the corporate ladder, and fast. The future becomes the present. The present becomes the past, and the past is never forgotten, and the past makes me think for the future. I'm traveling through time. I'm going to the future. I am the future. I am a star. The sun is now asleep. I cover my face with red and blue bandana. They were the favorite colors of my grandfather. My face begins to heat up as I breathe into my bandana. My hot breath and sad rage makes my eyes water. The sun is now more asleep. The darkness overtakes the city, and I slip into the shadow. A gunman killed my grandfather, so now I kill every man who owns a gun, especially crooked cops. I slip in my earbuds, and I open the app that I programmed called the Gun Owner Finder. It pulls from a national API that is updated multiple times daily. I open my GeoF map and turn on my police scanner. Simply by hearing a voice, I am able to tell the intent of a person as a side effect of being bitten by some sort of spider when I was taking pictures at NASA. The alien spider was radioactive from being in our foreign atmosphere. The bite transferred its life energy into me, and with it came great power and responsibility. I crouched on top of a church cross, with the moonlight hitting me only to add a slight highlight to my muted dark hoodie and pants. There he is, I think to myself. The voice of one man is pure and evil. I triangulate the signal with a voice most strongly detected. GeoF is showing me there are 3 registered guns in his area. The world grows silent as my mind declares that I've eaten a lot today and I'm ready to kill. From roof to roof, between narrow alleys, I swing with white wet strings coming from my pores. I silently make my way across the rooftops. I can see 3 stupid cops still in their uniforms. Shirts open, undershirts exposed. They all look greasy from the fluids they put in them. Only one of them is wearing body armor. I don't even need to worry about body armor. I listen closely. I will never kill an innocent man. I let a thin piece of my slime slowly lower through a hole in the roof to within a few inches of the men. The vibrations of their voice travel up my The vibrations of their voices travel up my moist micro rope to my fingertip that I hold near my ear. One man is no good. I already know that from hearing his voice. The second man puts his fingers to the side of his eyes and dries his top gum so that his lip can stick to the top of his gum. He pushes his teeth out as far as he can and begins to do some sort of impression of another type of person.
Okay, now please, cook me. I want a very big rat. Okay, can you catch a very big rat from inside of Mother River?
Hold on. What's this? I hear those last words trickle up my slime with a fraction of a second delay. By the time I hear these words, they are beginning to look up at the hole in the roof. I've been spotted. I need to act now, and I've already made my judgment on 2 out of the 3 of these guys, and I know the third one is guilty. He already has 1 strike. He's a cop. I rip a hole in the roof and jump 57 feet onto the third man. He is the least guilty, so he can die first. My feet land on his shoulders as he is attempting to stand up. The silent warehouse is filled with the still hollow sounds of his shoulder and rib bones being compressed down to his stomach. He's dead. The second man is too drunk to be useful. His voice led me here, and now his alcoholism will not lead him to being alive much longer. He fumbles with his gum when he even finds difficulty forming a full swear word directed at me. I shoot hot goop out of each finger. My left hand, 1 and 2, my pointer and middle finger, each shoot warm milk strings into his eye he will never see again. Number 3, his open, screaming mouth between his slightly gaped teeth, gagging him and lowering his useless scream. My pinky curls and curves to hit him in the bottom of the chin, closing his mouth, silencing him forever. My tongue, allegedly not even a finger, jets out a spurting of my goop, hitting him directly in the throat. His gagging moans are muted. You would only know he was in pain from the spit oozing between the spaces of his lower teeth. My right hand, I hold my pointer, middle, and ring finger tightly together, shooting a much thicker stream into the barrel of the gun, causing it to explode in his hand. I know that my pants are thin enough to push something hot and slippery through. There's only one way to finish this pile of human shit. I leap at him, with each foot landing on his collarbone. When my feet make contact with his body, he is flung backwards from the force. You can hear his bones crunch upon impact. His mouth is open as only gurgling sounds make their way out. I squat over this donut hole with my strawberry glazed gaper. My slimy strings float in the air as they break free from my fingertips. I flex my core and push out some white stout from my former brown spout. A spear of white pushes out from my hole, forcing my pants away from my body. It looks like a tent is being built. I suck the white wet spike back up into me. I know I sucked it all the way in because I feel my second mouth lips gently kiss. Now I push harder than before. The fabric of my trousers stood no chance. I pitch off the spike and he's dead. I step away from the body. The third man, clench my fist and I point my finger directly at his heart. You'll die quickly. My steamy strand has stopped. Our eyes follow each other, looking into each other and then at my now white goop. The strand puddles on his bulletproof jacket. It will dry and yellow soon enough. The bulletproof vest is going to be a problem after all. I can count centuries between my heartbeats. Time stands still. I'm stunned. I see him grab his gun and slowly swinging it around to point at me. I can count many of my slow breaths for each tiny movement that he makes, yet I'm able to do nothing. The empty, dense air is charged in an instant as the loud burst of a gun warms the cold air. I feel a warmth also overcoming my body and almost rippling across my body, as if I were a pond and a stone were cast into the middle of the pond. Life around me seems to spin as if it were coiled into a string and let loose like a top, but I am still standing. Looking down lets my eyes know that the bullet did not penetrate me at all. This is a bullet. I am a star. If you fire a gun to the star will not die. The spider was from another star that NASA brought back to Earth. The spider bit me and made me a star. I ripped my bandana off and put it in my pocket. I want him to see how big I am smiling right now. I walk slowly towards him as he empties more round into my bulletproof body. Boom! I take a step. Boom! I take another step. Boom! I take another step. And I'm here, where the universe wanted me to be. I'm in his face. He's holding the gun at his waist, still pulling the trigger with only real noticeable effect being the flashes of light. I raise my left hand to the left side of my face at eye level, with all of the fingers on my left hand and my thumb pointing forward. I smile even bigger and take out his left eye. He screams. His gun is nothing but clicks now. My right hand raises to the other side of my head, shooting forward just like my left hand, only this time it's his right eye. He's totally blind. Oh, I wish he could see me smiling now. I push my fingers and flex my wet wonder hairs to crawl through his head like roots through the soil. Only this soil is his skull bones and his soft brain. He drops down to the ground, making sounds like a retard. He isn't deaf, so I tell him that his retard-sounding voice would complement the voice his friend was making before I killed them. I feel my true power. I stand in a dark, empty room with only my energy filling the room. I spread my legs in a power stance and I raise my hands to the sky with my fingers spread. I shoot my pungent mucus strands all over the place. I shout, I am the bulletproof spider. My wavy whip speed and dance through the air. I'm now climbing out of the roof hole that I came in from. 3 lifeless bodies in a room full of steamy streamers floating through the air towards a final resting place. I now had uncanny photos of the crime scene that I could now mail to myself. Photos before police tamper with the crime scene and contaminating all the evidence. I knew that I had a full night and I had to get up early. I loved my job. Loving what you do makes living a lot easier. I love everything that I got to do in my life, even taking life. I am the bulletproof spider. That ends the story. Or does it really end the story? Interesting. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed reading to it. Ta-ta, retard.